A pleasant good evening. Welcome to News Desk on Truth 96.1 FM. My name is MARKA Davis, anchoring this presentation of the news program. In the top stories we are following tonight, President Joseph Boakai says his administration in motion commissions first batch of cabinet ministers with a mandate to declare their assets. Nimba County District 7 Representative Musa Belete wants the House of Representatives audited, right plenary to commission such audit in line with the practice of transparency and accountability. Water wars intensifies between Senator Amara Conan and veteran Liberian journalist Philibert Brown as the Liberian journalist threatens to release damaging documents on the Bapolo County senator. And of the home front, in a historic move, South Africa's parliament has impeached one of the country's top judges for misconduct, according to the BBC. The details of these developments, including the news bulletin, voices of the newsmakers, sports, are all part of this presentation of News Desk. We're taking a short break to be back. Well, thanks for rejoining us. Up next is the Bulletin of News with Olivia BANWON. Good evening, Olivia.
Good evening, Marka, and good evening to all. President Joseph Boakai is mandating officials of government to immediately declare their assets, to comply with anti-graft regulations as required, and more importantly, ensure the promotion of integrity in public service. He said his government will not tolerate corruption, as those found to be in breach of anti-graft laws will give account and pay the price. According to President Joseph Boakai, he will be monitoring cabinet officials' performances against the targets they will set and hold them accountable. Speaking for the executive mentioned when he commissioned several cabinet officials, President Boakai stressed that the cabinet, as the highest decision-making body of the government, must perform at the highest level, delivering on the government's priorities to achieve the developmental agenda of the Unity Party's government set for the next 6 years. The Liberian leader said he expects ministers and heads of agencies to demonstrate their capabilities and competencies in achieving their goals, including the execution of immediate interventions in the 100-day deliverable plan. The Liberian executive also expects the legislature and the judiciary to do their part by fully working with the Unity Party's government to improve the lives of the citizenry. President Boakai revealed that to ensure productivity, this is the requirement that every cabinet minister and head of agencies sign a performance contract as a way of not only ensuring that deliverables are met, but also enhancing efficiency within the government. Meanwhile, speaking on behalf of the cabinet, Foreign Minister Sarah Beslow Yanti cautioned cabinet ministers to do more in executing their plans of action. Minister Yanti said officials of government have a lot to do, and as a team, they are committed to the challenges ahead. She promised the Liberian leader that his government's agenda will lead Liberia to prosperity, will be accomplished under her watch as Dean of the Cabinet. She also wants President Joseph Boakai holds cabinet officials accountable if the government's deliverables are not achieved. She spoke Thursday at the executive mansion on behalf of the commissioned cabinet officials. The plenary of the House of Representatives has mandated its Committee on Public Accounts to probe a communication calling for an audit of the House. On Thursday, February 22, Neighbor County District Number 7 Representative Musa Bilete wrote plenary calling for an audit of the House of Representatives as a demonstration of transparency and accountability. According to Representative Ability, the Senate has requested the General Auditing Commission to conduct an assessment of its financial management systems and controls for this current period in order to identify any weaknesses, after which the GAC is expected to make recommendations for improvements. Representative Benedict said it is established that the entire legislature has not been audited since 1989, thus calling for a full-scale financial audit of the 55th legislature. Following the reading of Representative Benedict's communication by the Chief Clerk of the House, plenary through a motion from Representative Edward Flumwood mandated the Committee on Public Accounts to review the communication and report back to the House in 2 weeks. In another development, the House of Representatives has authorized its joint committees on claims and petition and education to review a petition seeking 20% increment in the education budget for fiscal year 2024. Plenary took the decision during Thursday's session after a conglomeration of civil society organizations under the banner Education Budget Advocacy Coalition, sponsored by USAID and CSA petitioned the House of Representatives on Education Committee for such increment. According to reports in Liberia, the state of education stands at a pivotal juncture where the potential for a brighter future for youths is impeded by persistent challenges encompassing school supplies, teachers' remuneration, educational infrastructure, early childhood education, and insufficient budgetary support. The petition added that stakeholders have deeply recognized the pressing necessity for transformative policies to tackle critical issues concerning school supplies, teachers' remuneration, educational infrastructure, early childhood education, and strengthening budgetary support to local education offices in the sector. Meanwhile, following the reading of the petition by the Chief Clerk, the Joint Committee on Ways, Means of Finance and Education were instructed to review the instrument and report to plenary. Veteran Liberian journalist Philibert Brown has branded Wapolu County Senator Amara Conan as the most corrupt individual in Liberia, in what is appearing to be a war of words between Senator Conan and journalist Brown. Amara Conan on his official Facebook page accused the journalist of causing significant reputational damage to the country in 2018, where he reported that two large containers of newly printed Liberian dollars got missing from the free port of Monrovia. Senator Amara Conan noted that Brown did not provide evidence to his claims. Instead, later became what he called basketball playing buddies with former President George Weah, whom he had accused of theft. The Wapolu County Senator, a staunch supporter of the Unity Party, further accused journalist Philibert Brown of being a paid agent for the embattled CEO of a key public corporation, the Liberian Electricity Corporation, which is being rebuilt with significant public resources to primarily alleviate Liberia's pervasive poverty. But speaking recently during a live podcast, journalist Brown challenged Senator Conan to provide evidence to his claims. Brown said if the senator fails to prove his claims, he will release documents to prove that the Senate's committee chaired on public account and audit is the most corrupt Liberian. The National Teachers Association of Liberia has distanced itself from a planned protest reportedly being organized by Ministry of Education employees against the nomination of James Masakwe as Deputy Minister for Administration by President Joseph Boakai. Under the leadership of Amos Odo, some Ministry of Education workers announced plans on Wednesday to stage an indefinite protest until President Boakai withdraws the nomination of James Masakwe. During a press conference held in Monrovia on Thursday, NTAL's president, Mary Yuman, clarified that while the association acknowledges the right to protest, NTAL was neither consulted nor informed about any demonstration plans. Former Education Minister Professor Ansu Soni is calling on President Joseph Boakai to retain some ministers at the Ministry of Education to continue on ongoing works at the ministry. Speaking Thursday to a team of journalists, Minister Soni said, under his stewardship at the ministry, tremendous works were done with the help of experienced educators at the ministry. According to him, the Ministry of Education being one of the major functionaries of the government, it is essential that some dedicated and hard-working ministers who served in the previous government be retained to continue on ongoing projects. Residents of Crewtown community in Grand Cape Mount County are mourning the death of a famous fisherman in the area. Emmanuel Zanga, who is believed to be in his early 30s, died as a result of canoe capsize. Our correspondent quoted our witnesses as saying Zanga met his untimely death on Thursday after he and his colleagues were on their normal fishing duty. According to our correspondent, canoe capsize is normal in the Crewtown community, recounting instances that have led to the deaths of several individuals in Grand Cape Mount County. Members of a Senate Joint Committee is expected to pay a site-safe visit to the concession area of China Union. The committee's decision was triggered by the second appearance of the management team of the company with contradicting information provided to that body, as well as the company's admittance to the challenges mentioned in the complaint by Representative for the family. Despite the lawmakers' agitations, it was concluded that China Union lived up to short-term agreements to include the payment of Social Security remittances, payment of scholarship remittances, and the 70% recruitment of Liberians at the senior managerial level, among others. The Press Union of Liberia has announced a MICE meeting of its members this Friday in Monrovia, making the disclosure Thursday on news and analysis. The acting Secretary General of the Union, Agwebesa, said the meeting is intended to address the elections impasse of 2022. Since 2022, the PUL is yet to have a legitimate leadership due to the dispute that marred the elective Congress that year. According to Bisa, the membership being the highest decision-making body of the union, Friday's meeting is expected to come up with solutions to the long-standing dispute in the PUL. A youth advocate, Ramsey Bacholu, has described as a disservice to the country the threat of protest by former Representative Akaras Gray for the establishment of war crime squad in Liberia. Bachelu is calling on Liberians not to give credence to Gray's call for protest in April because it is not timely. He argued that former Representative Gray was part of the 54th legislature and was chaired on executive under the CDC-led government that refused to establish the quad. As such, early protestation for the establishment of the quad is a disservice to the country. MAP Liberia National Coordinator John Calvin says the MAM strategy is a contribution to what he calls responsible agriculture and investment in Liberia. Making remarks at the launch of the MAP private sector engagement strategy Thursday in Monrovia, Kelvin said the project is a multi-stakeholders concept that is found in the SDGs goal number 17. Kelvin noted that the project focuses on land, forests, and fisheries, among others. Grand Junior County District Number 3 Representative Jacob D.B. has described responsible agriculture as the bedrock for economic development. Representative D.B., who officially launched the MAP private sector engagement strategy, said it is incumbent on each one to foster good land governance by use of the multi-stakeholder approach. The Grand Junior County lawmaker said the Liberia Land Authority must ensure that land is properly acquired to avoid conflict. The Liberia Media for Democratic Initiatives, in partnership with the Foundation for Empowerment of Rural Dwellers, is expected to begin series of 4 pilot water sanitation and hygiene promotion this Friday in Newtown, with support from Water Aid Liberia, a non-for-profit and non-political self-help development organization, and Liberia's leading blend of the media and people-to-people group will commence the first of the 4 gatherings in the borough of Newtown, specifically at the town hall. According to a release, the event, which began 10 a.m., is expected to bring together face-to-face or available citizens on one hand and local leaders and District 16 representative Dixon Seaboard on the other. The release noted that dialogue forum will generate in general water sanitation and hygiene issues in Nickeltown, in particular amongst the county district number 16 in general. Away from Liberia, in a historic move, South Africa's parliament has impeached one of the country's top judges for misconduct. An investigation found that John Lofi, the leading judge in Western Cape Province, tried to influence justices at the country's top court in a case relating to former President Jacob Zuma. Well, Marka, that's a news bulletin.
To Olivia BANWON for reading the bulletin of news. If you're just joining us in one of the top stories we are following tonight, Nimba County District 7 Representative Musa Belte wants the House of Representatives audited rights plenary to commission such audit in line with the practice of transparency and accountability in government. President Joseph Boakai is mandating officials of government to immediately declare their assets to comply with anti-graft regulations as required, and more importantly, ensure the promotion of integrity in public service. He said his government will not tolerate corruption, as those found to be in breach of anti-graft laws will give account and pay the price. According to President Joseph Boakai, he will be monitoring cabinet officials' performances against the targets they will set and hold them accountable. He spoke Thursday at the executive mansion when he commissioned several members of his cabinet. Well, we will bring back that development because of some technical hitches, but let's take this one. Veteran Liberian journalist Philibert Brown has branded Bapolu County Senator Amara Conan as the most corrupt individual in Liberia. in what is appearing to be a war of words between Senator Conan and journalist Brown. Amara Conan, on his official Facebook page, accused the journalist of causing significant reputational damage to the country in 2018 when he reported that two large containers of newly printed Liberian banknotes got missing from the free port of Monrovia. Senator Conan noted that Brown did not provide evidence to his claims. Instead, he later became what he called basketball playing buddies with former President George Weah, whom he had accused of theft. The Bapolu County Senator, a staunch supporter of the Unity Party, further accused journalist Philibert Brown of being a paid agent for the embattled CEO of a key public corporation, the Liberia Electricity Corporation, which is being rebuilt with significant public resources to primarily alleviate Liberia's pervasive politics or poverty. But speaking recently during a live podcast, journalist Philibert Brown challenged Senator Conan to provide evidence to his claims. Brown said if the senator fails to prove his claims, he will release documents to prove that the Senate Committee Chair on Public Accounts and Audit is the most corrupt Liberian.
And it's target up to Mr. Amara Conan or Senator Amara Conan or who he calls himself now. Mr. Senator, I'm saying this to you. My name is Philibert Brown, and you know me extremely well. The very next time I hear you saying foul things that you cannot prove about Mr. Moni Captain, you know what me and you pass through. There is not a threat, there is a challenge. I will put out documents as far as I'm concerned. You are the most corrupt Liberian that ever lived. You want to take me to the challenge? Take me to the challenge. The next time I see on your page or I see all these negatives coming out of you, without telling the Liberian the truth, I will put up documents on your corrupt views and let's see if the Liberian don't run you out of town. This is my challenge to you. Or if you cannot tell the Liberian the truth, don't try to destroy an innocent person. This man, from Charles Taylor time, okay, has exemplified himself as an outstanding Liberian citizen. He trusted, okay, he ran the Liberian challenge.
He is veteran Liberian journalist Philibert Brown there speaking. Back to this development, President Joseph Boakai is mandating officials of government to immediately declare their assets to comply with anti-graft regulations as required, and most importantly, ensure the promotion of integrity in public service. He said his government would not tolerate corruption, as those found to be in breach of anti-graft laws will give account and pay the price. He spoke on Thursday at the executive mansion where he commissioned his first batch of cabinet officials.
And mandating all officials of government to immediately declare their assets to comply with the anti-graft regulations as required, and more importantly, ensure the promotion of integrity and justice service. I want to make it clear that we want to show that we're doing this with no tolerance for corruption. I must say that corruption, different from the people's coffers, and those found to be in breach of these laws will account for the public items in their custody. There will be no impunity, as I say, into the wise. It is about time that Liberia becomes a country that will be respected, a country of integrity, a country that cares for its people. We'll be monitoring your performance against the targets you will set and hold you accountable. Monitoring would not only be within the support mechanism that will ensure that orders follow closely as well. The public, we ask the public to be fair enough to follow up, not based on any prejudice, because we don't want you to enforce under respect of our officials simply because you don't like them. Because when you're honest with them, we have a good country and a good government. In this regard, citizen feedback mechanism piloted in 5 counties will be activated and implemented across the country. Fellow citizens, public service is not an entitlement. It is an opportunity to give back to your country and your fellow citizens. I see people leaving private jobs to come to public service. It is not an entitlement. It's yourself saying, I want to come and serve my people. That's why they call it public service. You want to make more money? Go to private sector. Want to serve the people? Come to the public. For those who are about to be commissioned today, their compatriots have entrusted you with a responsibility to deliver the services they need. I have told some embassies or some investors, it is not a duty of investors to come build roads except where necessary, to come and dig boreholes for water except extremely necessary. We are supposed to create that environment.
He is President Joseph Boakai there speaking on Thursday when he commissioned the first batch of his cabinet members in Monrovia. Meanwhile, speaking on behalf of the cabinet, Foreign Minister Sarah Besloyanti cautioned cabinet members to do more in executing their plans of action. Minister Yanti said officials of government have a lot to do, and as a team, they are committed to the challenges ahead. She promised the Liberian leader that his government agenda will lead Liberia to prosperity and be accomplished under her watch as Dean of the Liberian cabinet.
We come to serve Liberia at a time where globally there are so many competing priorities. Where resources were available in past years, we now have wars, we have conflicts, we have crises all around the world. And Liberia at this time where people are fighting for resources, we remain one of the poorest countries in the world after 176 years. Over half of Liberians today are poor, living below the national poverty line. In 2022, Liberia ranked 175 out of 189 countries in terms of human development. Hunger rate for Liberia, 32.4. Severe hunger, ranking 113 out of 121 countries. We are the sweet land of liberty. We are the sweet land of liberty. But yet, our personal freedoms and our liberty have not translated into prosperity. Unfortunately, we ranked 138 out of 167 in terms of prosperity index in the world, and we rank poorly in terms of education, health, infrastructure, market access, and so many more. What that means for us who are called to serve by His Excellency the President is that we have a lot of work to do, and as a team, we are committed to the challenges before us in partnership with all of those who are called to serve, in partnership with the legislature, the judiciary, the people of Liberia. We are here to say, Mr. President, we will serve to the best of our ability so that the sweet land of liberty will be sweet for all.
She is Foreign Minister Sarah Besloyanti there speaking at the Executive Mansion on Thursday. The National Teachers Association of Liberia has distanced itself from a planned protest reportedly being organized by Ministry of Education employees against the nomination of James Masakwe as Deputy Minister for Administration by President Boakai. Under the leadership of Amos Doe, some Ministry of Education workers announced plans on Wednesday to stage an indefinite protest until President Boakai withdraws the nomination of James Masakwe. During a press conference held in Monrovia on Thursday, NTAL's President Mary Newman clarified that while the association acknowledges the right to protest, the association was neither consulted nor informed about any demonstration plans. In a related development, former Education Minister Ansu Suning is calling on President Joseph Boakai to retain some ministers at the Ministry of Education to continue on ongoing works at the ministry. Speaking Thursday to a team of journalists, Minister Suning said under his stewardship at the ministry, tremendous works were done with the help of experienced educators. According to him, the Ministry of Education being one of the major functionaries of the government, it is essential that some dedicated and hardworking ministers who served in the previous government be retained to continue on ongoing projects.
What we put in place are the four. Of course, every minister, every government has their own leader, and most of the time, successors and government don't like to give credit to predecessors. They will suggest that they're not opposition. But for me, I stand from a different perspective. Regardless of where you are, where you come from, you do a good job, I give you the credit. Don't do well, I did mention etc. The minister of education is not one of those that the minister will be taking all this from zero. Absolutely not. And we believe where it is. I have always, you know, the tradition team met with us at the ministry of Health. One thing I always respected them was, no, please, we are 12 ministers here. Because of the size of the ministry, because of those functions and activities, because the ministry is one of the largest functionary of government. We cover every territory in this country. I would propose, like we did when we did as minister, if the government can maintain 2 or 3 of my ministers, that would be fine. In that case, like we benefited, there were 2 ministers that we maintained. We nominated them. There was a minister for basic and secondary, and the minister for TVET, science and tech. When we came, they were already there as system. It didn't make sense for us to advocate for the department. It didn't make sense. Now there was a lot that we got out of them. We didn't have to. Because mind you, every time you appoint that software, everybody may not like, especially at the civil service level. But if there is the ministerial person who consider themselves at the ministerial level, it's easy to relate to. So we're very happy that we kept those systems. And now we suppose that if you do agree, we are going to go from where they get 2 or 3, you don't respect, especially if you keep them on the left.
He is former Education Minister Professor Ansu Sonin there speaking with journalists in Monrovia on today. We've little past the half-hour mark. Let's now cross over to Naomi Tapia to bring us sports on News Desk tonight. Good evening, Naomi.
Good evening, Maka. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Passion of Life. Liberia National Wheelchair Basketball Federation has with immediate effect revoked the status of Miss Mami Free as Goodwill Ambassador for Liberia National Wheelchair Basketball Federation and further terminate her affiliation with the Federation. A release from the Federation said in early September 2023, the Board of Directors and Executive Committee of Liberia National Wheelchair Basketball Federation appointed Mami Free as Goodwill Ambassador of the LNWBF with the mandate to represent the image of the Federation on the international scene. According to the release, Free's appointment to the position was premised on the basis of demonstrating her degree of professionalism, transparency, accountability, and credibility. The release further that it has become particularly evident that Mami Free has drifted away from the initial agreement made with the Federation and has since embarked on a path of self-seeking ventures. The statement signed by the Federation Secretary General pointed that the LNWBF has come to realize that Free's endeavors and interaction with diaspora sponsors has not served the best interests of the LNWBF. Destiny Kickball Club has appointed Truth FM News editor Marka Davis as Vice President for Administration. The club on their official website said that Davis's appointment was triggered by his numerous contributions towards the development of sports, especially kickball in Liberia. The club said they count on Davis to assist with the development of people who aspire to evolve and take their career to another level while ensuring that Destiny Kickball Club becomes one of the best in the sports history. Reacting to his appointment, Marka Davis welcomed the club's decision and promised to contribute his quota to the society by working in a manner that would take the club and Liberia's invented sport to another level. Meanwhile, Destiny Kickball Club has signed couple Salome Gayflow from Royal Sisters Kickball Club and Dorcas Verninka Doxin from Girls of Aries. Couple joined Destiny in a deal that stretches up to $22,000 22,000 debtors, including transfer fees, healthcare commission, employers' benefit, while Dorcas joined the club in a swap deal as Cecilia Akwe heads to her former club. The club's president, Emmanuel Widi Conway, welcomed the new members and thanked them for their choice. According Spain has found former Barcelona and Brazil footballer Dani Alves guilty of raping a woman in a Barcelona nightclub. He has been sentenced to 4.5 years in prison. The 40-year-old, who is one of the most decorated footballers in history, had denied sexually assaulting the woman in the early hours of 31 December 2022. His lawyer had asked for his acquittal. Instead, she would appeal against the verdict. A lawyer for the victim welcomed the verdict, saying it recognizes what we have always known, the truth as told by the victim and the suffering there has been, as well as handling Alves a 4.5-year sentence. The court said he will face a 45 years probation. The prosecution had asked for a 9-year prison sentence. In Spain, a claim of rape is investigated under the general accusation of sexual assault, and convictions can lead to prison sentences of 4 to 15 years. According to the Spanish media, the court took into account Alves' decision to pay the victim €150,000 in damages regardless of the outcome of the trial when it decided on the length of his prison term. Alves played more than 400 times for Barcelona, winning 6 league titles and 3 Champions Leagues across 2 spells with the club. He was also part of Brazil's 2002 World Cup squad. He has won trophies playing for Sevilla, Juventus, and PSG, and is among Brazil's most capped internationals with 126 appearances. That's all for our sports tips.
Here with sports on News Desk tonight. In more news, the Press Union of Liberia has announced a mass meeting of its members this Friday in Monrovia. Making the disclosure Thursday on News and Analysis, the acting Secretary General of the union, Akwe Bisa Junior, said the meeting is intended to address the election impasse of 2022. Since 2022, the PUL is yet to have a legitimate leadership due to the dispute that marred the elective Congress that year. According to Bisa, the membership, being the highest decision-making body of the union, Friday's meeting is expected to come up with solutions to the long-standing dispute in the PUL.
A very important meeting that we call in every journalist in Liberia, those around the center of Monrovia Belt, the Monrovia Belt, surrounding the other counties closer to Monrovia, to gather tomorrow by beginning 2:30 to 3 o'clock to commence this all-important meeting that we are solely being discussing or tackled around, looking at the election impact that took place in 2022, and we'll be looking at other issues pertaining to the group of the union as it is right now.
He is the acting Secretary General of the Press Union of Liberia, Akwe Bisa, there speaking on Truth FM. Residents of Crewtown community in Graham Mount County are mourning the death of a famous fisherman in that area. Emmanuel Zanga, who is believed to be in his early 30s, died as a result of a canoe capsize. Our correspondent Jenkins Mambandi quoted eyewitnesses as saying Zanga met his untimely death on Thursday after he and his colleagues were on their normal fishing duty.
Early this morning, this news broke out somewhere around Gaulan district, that is the Fumba Beach. The Fumba Beach usually but this time we found out that fishermen will leave from Rawasco end to go to Fumba, where they usually go on a
contract basis to go and fish. So this morning, the news broke out that they were on their way for fishing. The Kino had an accident. A young guy who is a famous fisherman in Rabasport slipped off the Kino, and the machine they were using split his head, and then instantly he died. But the body was found and it was brought in Rabasport as I speak right now. Residents and friends are gathered and sympathizing with the bereaved family.
In another development, residents of Grand Cape Mountain County are admonishing individuals from the county who were nominated by President Joseph Boakai to serve with passion. Our correspondent quoted the residents as saying, unlike previous officials of government who they said had no tangibles, individuals who are given the opportunity by the Unity Party administration should make the difference.
When it comes to that, honestly, the atmosphere in the country is good. I think many persons are happy with the appointments being made so far. Taking into consideration, there are sons from Grand Cape County who have been appointed to some positions. So that's excitement in the country. Like I was listening to one of the local media this morning, we heard citizens saying that Pete Martinez had made mistake in the past. Under the regime of President Salif, they were given similar opportunities where you realize that it might have over 4 to 5 ministers, but the developments in the country after that the regime elapsed, they did not see the impact in the country, and so they were calling on those that would be given the opportunity by President Joseph Boakai to come back in country that and not forget about their own politics in the past.
Jenkins Mabandi is RCR Grand Cape Mountain County correspondent. The youth advocate Rense Bajelu has described as disservice to the country the threat of protest by former Representative Akaras Gray for the establishment of war crimes court in Liberia. Bajelu is calling on Liberians not to give credence to Gray's call for the protest in April because it is not timely. He argued that former Representative Gray was part of the 54th legislature and was chair on executive under the CDC-led government that refused to establish the court. As such, early protestation for the establishment of the court is a disservice to the country.
Liberia is a country of peace and still striving for infrastructure development. We need investors to come and help in job creation for our people. It is certainly not for protesting against government. Moses Green was a lawmaker for 12 consecutive years, and we stand to bring us through the establishment of the war and economic crime. During the past 6 years, the John Maria regime, and Moses Green was the chairman of the committee on identity and refused to bring up the establishment of war and economic crime.
Meanwhile, Rense Bajelu has frowned at some Liberians for what he called consistently insulting their leaders in public and on the social media. Bajelu noted that the culture of insulting leaders as means of obtaining job opportunity is wrong and is painting a negative image of the country to the outside world. He is a youth advocate, Rense Bajelu, there speaking to Truth FM. Well, folks, this is how we love to draw the curtains on tonight's presentation of News Desk. It has been a 45-minute production of news from the News and Current Affairs Department here at the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. Before we leave you, these are the top stories we followed. President Joseph Boakai sets his administration in motion, commissioned first batch of cabinet ministers with a mandate to declare their assets. Nimba County District 7 Representative Musa Bility wants the House of Representatives audited rights plenary to commission such audit in line with the practice of transparency and accountability. Word of words intensifies between Senator Amara Conan and veteran Liberian journalist Philibert Brown as the Liberian media executive threatens to release damaging documents on the senator, describing him as the most corrupt Liberian. And of the home front, in a historic move, South Africa's parliament has impeached one of the country's top judges for misconduct, according to the BBC. Many thanks to all of you for your listening rule. Thanks to those who follow us live on Real TV. Olivia BANWON read for us the news bulletin. Naomi Tapia brought us sports on News Desk tonight. Johnson Matoma coordinated this presentation. Cooper Sanga was behind the camera and carried us live on Real TV. My name is MARKA Davis. Good night